never meant for kids, and I don't know where we're getting the idea that it was. In no iteration...
Who is saying that Five Nights at Freddy is for kids? And who's taking their kids into the HHN scare houses for Five Nights at Freddy? Five Nights at Freddy is actually the nightmare that I used to dream up as a kid when I used to go to Chuck E. Cheese's. The animatronics at Chuck E. Cheese used to scare and terrify the heck out of me. I used to hide underneath the table whenever those things would start to come alive and sing. I was very scared as a child. And in my head, I always had the idea that these things might come off of the stage one day and get me. Fast forward into the future, and then we have Five Nights at Freddy's. Or Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm sorry, sometimes I get words mixed up. I still haven't seen Five Nights at Freddy's at my big age because I am still in that little 8-year-old me mindset of watching the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics come off the stage and come get me. And when I had little small nieces of my own that love Chuck E. Cheese because their grandma loves to take them to Chuck E. Cheese, or when they were little, she used to love to take them to Chuck E. Cheese. I had to face this fear. And I'm like, I hadn't been in a Chuck E. Cheese until I was like in my late 30s, early 40s when my nieces were born. And even then, the animatronics still freaked the heck out of me. So I want to say this. Why are people taking their scared little children into these horror attractions? Five Nights at Freddy is in no way, if any parent or grandparent, because people my age now, we're grandparents now, have seen that movie, that is in no way a child-friendly film. And Halloween Horror Nights is not a child-friendly event. But people drag their kids and their grandkids to these Halloween events that they are scared of and force these babies to go into these haunted attractions. Hi, I'm Ro. I'm a former scare actor. I used to work for Scarowinds at Carowinds in North and South Carolina. And as a scare actor, I have seen countless parents and some grandparents, but mostly parents, drag their scared little children into these haunted attractions. Kids crying, and the parents yell at them, "There's nothing to be afraid of! Don't be a wimp! Stop being scared!" Y'all are traumatizing your children. I understand people of my caliber, Generation X, because we were treated a certain way and we were latchkey kids and all this stuff. We were exposed to certain things. We think that our kids and grandkids shouldn't be wimps and we need to expose them to these things so they don't be scared of everything. But at some ages, children are afraid of things, and I wish that parents would understand this instead of trying to expose their kids to stuff that will give them a complex that they will have to see a therapist for later in life because they don't want their kids to be weak. It's not weakness. It's understanding that the psyche of children, that children, to them, everything is real, and they don't understand that a monster that they see in a scare attraction or in a fursuit is a person inside of that. They think everything is real. Heck, even some teenagers and adults, when I used to scare people, they used to run for their lives. And if adults are running for their lives, what do you think children are going to do? I do remember one parent, he took a more gentle approach, bringing his child into my scare attraction, by asking me, the scare actor, when I came out to do my scares, if I had to wear gloves for my costume, if I could show his child that I was a real person. And I did just that. I took my gloves off so the child could see my hands and know that I was a real person. The child touched my hand and I gave the child a high five. I did not scare the child. That was not my thing. I did not like scaring children unless the child looked like they wanted to be scared and enjoyed being scared. Because you did have some kids that did come through there. They loved Halloween horrors. They were not scared Scarowinds. They were not scared, and they enjoy that type of thing. And if you have a child that enjoys that type of thing because they may have been exposed to it through whatever, either going to a con or horror movies, some people are just built differently, then by all means, yes, take that child and let them enjoy it. But the children that I'm talking about are the ones that are terrified, and their parents are dragging them, kicking and screaming through these terrifying scenes that they're seeing at these haunted events. Please stop taking your kids to these things if they're not ready to be, to be exposed to this. And I am pretty sure, because I know it's Scarowinds, it does have an age rating, and I know Halloween Horror Nights has an age rating as well. Like I said, one time I was an elf for Winterfest. After Scarowinds, then you get ready for Winterfest, and I was an elf, and I had a little boy that was terrified of me as an elf because he was scared because his parents took him to Scarowinds, and now he thinks everything that was dressed up, every character that was dressed up, was going to turn into a monster. I went up to him, and said hello, and he started screaming, and he was like, "Are you going to turn into a monster?" See, that's the type of mess you guys are exposing your kids to, and their little psyche, it can't process certain things. So now this child was just terrified at Winterfest. But no, Five Nights at Freddy's, that is not a child's story or a child's anything. Don't take your kids in there. If anything, your kids are going to get terrified unless they like that type of stuff. And then you can never take them to a Chuck E. Cheese ever again. Oh yeah, that's right. They took the animatronics out of Chuck E. Cheese's, so it's less scary now. But yeah, parents and grandparents, please stop terrorizing your kids by taking them to these haunted attractions. And if you do take them, then trying to shame them for wanting to get a Boo necklace. Let the kids get the Boo necklace. Heck, let the adults get the No Boo necklace. No Boo necklace, not the Boo necklace. No Boo necklace.